we will be looking at a more special kind of random process, Markov process, which we call a homogeneous Markov process. In this case, the dependence of xk on xk minus 1, the dependence of xk minus 1 on xk minus 2, the dependence of xk minus 2 on x minus 3 is the same as dependence of x1 on xk. So this probability is much simpler. Xk is equal to I given xk minus 1 is equal to j. So remember that now we don't have to condition other things. This is the only thing on a Markov process. But if you look at it, it does not depend on k. This is same as x1 equal to I, x0 equal to j for any two elements in this state. Remember, every random variable has a common state space in a stochastic process. Homogeneous Markov process is the one where the random value of xk only depends on the value of xk minus 1. This is the Markov property, and it is homogeneous if xk given xk minus 1, this has the same distribution as x1 given x0. For us, all Markov chains will be homogeneous. So a Markov chain for us is same as a homogeneous Markov chain. For this course, we will only be studying homogeneous Markov chains. And still we can model many different situations. We remember that it is homogeneous. With these simplifications, it is very easy to describe a Markov chain. If you think about it, there are only two things which are needed to specify how my Markov chain is going to be. In general, I have to worry about many of the things xk plus 1 given xk is equal to xk, all these kind of things to make sense of a stochastic process. But in case of Markov chain, I don't have to worry about many of these quantities. I just need two things. First, the initial probability distribution. This is probability of x0 equal to I for all I in my state space. And the second thing is the transition matrix. This tells me how we go from one time step to another. In other words, this transition matrix is the probability, the ijth entry of the transition matrix is the probability that x1 is equal to I given x0 is equal to j. And this we get for all state space elements I, comma j. You should again pause the video, take some time and at least intuitively convince yourself that because of the properties of Markov chain, it's a Markov property, it's a homogeneous Markov chain, that's why these two quantities are good enough to specify the Markov chain, to describe the complete description of the Markov chain. We will see the evolution of the Markov chain in the next lecture. For today, let's just see an example. The example is known as drunkard's walk. What is a drunkard's walk? We have a drunk person who is at home at time t equal to 0. At every time step, he takes a step right or left with equal probability. And we are interested in modeling his distance from home and the direction. So at any time step, he will be at some distance away, either left or right. You can think of it as minus 4 steps right, or plus 4 steps, or plus 3 steps at the right. And we want to model this a drunkard's walk. You will see that it's a Markov process. It's a homogeneous Markov chain. Why? The state space is going to be all integers. The initial distribution, you need to define two things for a Markov chain. The initial probability distribution, in this case it is very simple, x0 is equal to 0 is equal to 1, and the x0 equal to some other thing where I not equal to 0, this is 0. This is the initial probability distribution. We know that the drunkard is at home. The second thing is the transition probability. Half if j is equal to I plus minus 1. So if drunkard's position is 4 steps at the right, in the next step it could only be 3 or 5. Otherwise it's 0. So at only 2 places there's a probability of half and the value is. So you can easily see that the sum of the entries of rows of Tij sum up to 1. This you can easily check. And this is a Markov chain which specifies drunkard's walk. It can be generalized. Here we were only walking on a line, but you can have a random walk on a graph. Even this is going to be a Markov process. What is a random walk on a graph? You have different places. You can think of it as different places a drunkard can go. The drunkard, let's say, starts from the home. At every time step, he moves to some other neighboring homes, which are defined by the edges. And from here, at every time step with uniform probability, he can move to one of the connected vertices. You can write the transition matrix and the initial probability for this. So you can try that and you can model this also. Our drunkard's walk to start with was nothing but a random walk on a graph. It was a random walk on a graph. So we have seen some examples of Markov processes. It has been very, very useful in computer science. The random walk gives rise to many randomized algorithms and pseudo-random generators. It is very useful. If you look at the concept of Markov chain, it is useful not just in computer science, but many different areas. You can talk about evolution of DNA and you can model it as a Markov process. You can talk about motion of particles in physics and you can again model it as a Markov chain. Even information from a source was modeled as a Markov process by scientists. So you see that this concept is useful in many, many different areas. It is used in machine learning, biology, physics, chemistry, everywhere we see applications of Markov chain. And the utility basically arises because they are simple to describe. You saw that to describe a Markov chain, I only need the initial probability distribution in the transition matrix. With that, we can prove very strong structural properties about the behavior of a Markov chain or evolution of Markov chain. This is what we are going to see in the next class, that how a Markov chain behaves. With that, we will also look at an algorithm, an application of Markov chains. Thank you.